Good, good.
Coming off, I guess, one of the tougher games we've had, especially here at home, Ole Miss team we thought they played exceptionally well on Saturday. We didn't do a great job in terms of responding, one, to their pressure or trying to slow them down offensively. But we look forward to a great challenge this week against a really good Georgia team, one that we think has really played extremely well down the stretch, losing a heartbreaker on Saturday, last second shot there to Alabama, but prior to that having really good wins against Tennessee and Kentucky, and other games where they've lost and been challenged, 1 or 2 point games. So it's a game we look forward to. They very talented. Cardwell Pope's a great player, tremendous scorer, and we're going to have to do a great job of trying to make sure that we make some adjustments and contain him, and we're hopeful that we can compete at a certain level come Thursday afternoon.
Adding Carmouche to the equation, how does that help on the path to doing some different things on Pope?
I think it helps us. I think we can have an opportunity to show him some different looks that we weren't able to first initial time that we played him. Up there, more improved and a better basketball team. Other guys have given them some really quality time since that game, but we're glad, and I think we're a much improved team since we played them the first time as well. And I think with the addition of Carmouche, the way that he's played, I think not only defensively but offensively, I think he gives us some other dimensions that will really help us as well.
A couple coaches today said there's an inclination to maybe double him more off screens and things like that to throw just that kind of pressure out and to force the ball out of Caldwell Pope's hands. Is that something you guys look at as maybe doubling a little bit, or is?
Well, we just have to really make some adjustments to him and just try to keep him out of his comfort zones. He's really good. He's talented. He's crafty. He's excellent with the basketball in terms of his ball handling skills. Good passer as well. And I just think he's just a really tough matchup, and we will have to make certain adjustments, and doubling and everything else is not out of the equation for a player of that caliber. But you have other guys on the team that are very capable of delivering, and with his savviness, he's capable of beating the double teams or making the right passes out of it. They can hurt you as well.
You've had a lot of success with your North Texas teams in tournaments. Do you do anything differently? Do you coach teams that differently, get them prepared differently, or is it status quo?
I think it's just a build-up really from their season in terms of our approach and what we're doing, and not a whole lot of adjustment, but guys having a good understanding of what we're trying to do, and it's our next game for us, and the importance of it. We try not to weigh it too heavy, knowing that everyone's playing with a certain sense of urgency at this time of year, and the importance that are on those games. We try to make sure that our guys go into the game with an approach of executing both offensively and defensively at a certain level, and everything else really have a tendency of taking care of itself.
Johnny, the 3 losses you all had recently, all 3 games giving up at least 80 points, all 3 games, the team shot 53% or higher. And you've been hurt defensively, perimeter, post, all over. What, is that at this point is playing good teams that makes it obvious the areas that you have to get better at?
Oh, absolutely. We've got to try and do a much better job of slowing guys down in the paint area. We have given up a considerable amount of points to the opposing teams, and we've had some tough rebounding battles or wars that are in there. And at the same time, teams have, I think, exploited us, unfortunately, somewhat at times, and other times we've been able to stand up to the challenge and make the adjustments. But I think the last few teams that we've played, they've had some success. And generally when that happens, you have to make some adjustments, and that's something we'll have to do prior to Thursday, because the same thing will be in play. They've got good post play along with great guard play, and guys with size and strength that I'm sure they will try to attack us that way.
Anthony's admitted that maybe he's gotten a little bit too much steal conscious because the point guards have been able to get into the lane against him in these 3 losses, and he needs to play a little bit more solid defense than gambling.
Yeah, but I think you can go back and see some of our victories too. Sometimes their guards have had some success against us. I don't think it's so much Anthony. A lot of his steals have come from the blind side when he gets a steal, rotation, be it out of our press defense, or he's still in the ball when an opponent's got their head turned, be it another man when he's in help position. But I think he's gotten himself maybe out of position. He does a much better job in containing the basketball, and that's what he's got to hopefully do these next few games. We'll hopefully have do a better job of containing than putting himself in a position or getting out of position going for a steal. Good teams make you pay.
Outside of Caldwell Pope, you mentioned that other guys have come up, and Mann seems to be a little bit steadier at the point. I think inside Williams seems to be a solid rebounder and post defender. Which component do you think seems to stand out aside from?
I think they've had really good balance in terms of what they do. They can step out, and one of the post guys can step out and knock down threes, which really stretch your defense. But you can't just run down there and double with the other post guy. They're effective inside when they get it in there. Having the ability to score, Caldwell Pope coming off of screens or being isolated can really make plays. And those other guards, if you help off of them, they're very capable of finishing and making shots. So they've got a really good balance in terms of what they're doing. They were down 17, 20 points or whatever Saturday against Alabama and did a great job of battling back and getting back in the game. Relaford had to hit a heroic shot right there at the end to beat them. So they're good, balanced, and that's happening on the road.
There's been a lot of talk about you and Coach Fox doing two of the better coaching jobs in the SEC this year, given maybe what you had. What do you make of that?
Well, I think he's done a tremendous job with guys, especially where they're started. Yes, the area where they were picked, and his team has continued to get better really throughout the year and have really made progress. And I'd like to think our team has made progress from day one when we started the season, and especially after conference play, how we started, and then being able to go on the road, get some wins, and balance their schedule out. We wound up going 9-9 and lost some home games, and to be able to go on the road in this conference and win some games on someone else's floor, I think says a lot about kind of growth of the team. So, but you have to really look at what Fox has done and think that he's done a tremendous job with this group.
So you say one game at a time, that's the approach for the team. There's no mention of NCAA tournament, we got to do this, 4 days and 4 games in 4 days, or that stuff.
Well, absolutely. I think you can put some examples out there of what has transpired or happened in the past, and this is where we are at this time of season. You sit there and you talk about, well, you throw the records out of the window and everything else. This is what we're playing for, and this is what we have to accomplish to get to where we're trying to go in the next few days. And this generally have to be our approach. And everybody will be playing with a sense of urgency at this time of year, and we can't be any different. But we have to make sure that we take one game at a time. We can't look ahead and know that other team that's in that other uniform, they're shooting for the same thing that we are. And generally, who's going to play the hardest and be the most effective for these next 40 minutes, however long it take, to make sure that they have an opportunity to put their uniform on the next day.
You enjoy the conference tournament, going to the neutral side, having all the teams in one place, that whole scene?
Absolutely. I think it's a great time of year when you get to this point in the season. And if you're sitting there as a team that probably with a high seed and a la Florida or someone, that may be somewhat of a deterrent for you because the NCAA tournament and anything can happen during the conference play. But I think if you're a team sitting in our position, this is a great opportunity for us if we can go in and have some success, that at the end of the day something can happen special for you on Sunday.